Tell us why this person who is a squatter, and I'm going to call her a squatter, why this person felt like she had the right to move back into that place. As you said in the prior segment, she lived in the home when it was foreclosed on in 2022.
Correct. My understanding is she believes that that foreclosure is invalid because the laws of the United States do not apply to her. Every attorney, every legal professional that I've talked to and told this story to says that, sovereign citizenship is not recognized in any way, shape, or form.
Doesn't mean anything. It says here in some research I did, a sovereign citizen is someone who believes they are not subject to government laws, especially laws related to taxes, licensing, courts, and property rights. They often claim that the U.S. government is illegitimate, that they are governed only by common law or natural law. They sometimes think they don't need driver's licenses. They think court systems have no authority over them. And they think legal documents like property deeds, foreclosure filings, and eviction notices are considered invalid or corporate fraud. Last December in Thornton, Illinois, a homeowner, his name was Mark Goodman, returned to his vacant house. He was getting ready to list it, only to discover a group of strangers and their dogs were now living inside. They claimed that they bought the house and they switched stories and said we're renting it. And even though they never paid a cent, but police couldn't intervene, saying it was a civil matter. It took 6 months for him to go to court to get them out. And they say he incurred $25,000 in cost. So
that doesn't surprise me. I've heard stories like that before from all over the country.
Tell me about what Texas is doing to make it more homeowner friendly in these situations.
Well, I'll tell you, so had it been, if it happened today, and this actually might be one of the reasons why she also chose to move in now, because the week prior, the governor of the state of Texas signed a bill that passed our legislature this session that makes it extremely simple for law enforcement to remove squatters. All the owner has to do is show proof that they actually own the home, and the police officer can go in and immediately throw someone out.
For those of you who are listening who are in the state of Georgia, our legislature passed in April of 2024 a law that criminalizes unlawfully entering and residing in a property without consent. It also streamlines the removal of illegal squatters, sort of the same thing. It's almost like you call the police to report it, and the police issue a citation, which sounds like what they did there. And then in Georgia, if you don't get out after they tell you to get out, and you haven't proven that you have the right to be there, within 10 days, they will throw you out. And so in Georgia, there was no laws to protect homeowners or landlords from people moving in their home and squatting.
Well, and I think that really is the issue at hand, is that in most places where you hear stories like the one that you illustrated, Cleve, it's not that the law favors squatters, it's that there's not a law.
That's right.
What ends up happening is you've got to go through an eviction process, and it's an eviction process without a lease.
Yep.
And so it just becomes very, very difficult and very expensive by the time you start getting attorneys involved.
So do you have any warnings for sellers or recommendations for sellers and agents who are going to sell their property to avoid this?
So, I think that this kind of goes hand in hand in a lot of ways with just normal home security. Do you have cameras set up? Do you have a security system set up? Do you have a Ring doorbell so that you can identify when people who aren't supposed to be there are there? And then if you're selling a vacant piece of property, it's a good idea, if you're local, to do a drive-by every now and then to make sure that everything looks okay and is in good shape, or have your agent do it.
100%.
I think it's become such an issue. You hear stories about it all the time, and especially with the proliferation of short-term rentals, with the number of people that are moving out of some of these states, or are only in those states for certain months of the year. You think about Florida, you think about snowbirds, and you've got a property that might be vacant for 6 months, and all of a sudden somebody shows up to spend their winter there, and you have roommates you weren't expecting.